what do you see, like where is sort of the mismatch, if you will, in terms of the expectations from both sides, right? Just whatever that you can share. I know that we can peel this a little more, but from what you've seen working at different levels and in the context of Gen Z, right? I mean, how do you see, where the expectations get lost, like perhaps when they come in, and from also this side. So anything that you can share there?
I think it's a huge challenge, to be honest. It's a huge challenge across
Yeah.
so many organizations. I mean, just over the next few days, I'm doing work for a really successful and an excellent client who works in the financial services industry. A wonderful company, really. Highest respect for the leadership and everyone. But you can't take away the fact that, those who are in leadership positions are there because for a large part of their life, they made work their topmost priority. It was about sacrificing a lot to get there.
Yeah.
That was the, that's how you did it. That's how you did it. You were not asking questions of, okay, necessarily, how am I making a meaningful life?
Yeah.
As you were asking different questions. It was almost like, am I making a life or a living? And I think that's the big shift that many people who started off earlier, I know I did much earlier, it was all about making a living. And that was number one priority. And, everything else, because that was the gateway to everything else, right? If you made a living, then you could have a house, a home, raise a family, blah, 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 all of that. But today's, new entrants, Gen Z is a lot about, this effort reward issue. When I join an organization, if I put in that much effort, what am I getting out of it? And what am I getting out of it, in the context of my whole life? So it's a very different, almost scale that's being used. You spoke about 3 generations, and the number of leaders who tell me that actually now the generation is shifting every 3-4 years. And what they mean by that is that the expectations that people come with when they're starting out have shifted even in the last 3-4 years. So this is the big shift, people who are in leadership roles, even people with 10 years of work experience, which, it's a lot by some standards, it's not a lot by, it's all relative, right? But even people who started careers, say 10 years ago, had far more of the, okay, this is the game, we're going to play the game, we're going to make a living, that kind of orientation, and we're going to work whatever it takes. You want to call us on weekends, we don't necessarily like it, but it's par for the course, right? So but that's not the case anymore. It's not the case at all anymore. And I can tell you that just 2 days ago, I was having a conversation with someone with exactly this 10 years of experience, really struggling to work with people who feel that after 6:30, it's their personal time. And they should not be disturbed, which is, by the way, a view that I also understand really, really well. I think it, you use another lens, and that makes a lot of sense as well. So there are 2 ways of looking at life that both make sense in their own way, but they're different. They're different. And organizations are, trying to find, okay, so what do we do about it? We need Gen Z because that's where 70% of our organization lies, which is true of so many organizations in India, particularly anyone related to tech. But we don't get them. We don't get them. What do they want? We have such a good, whatever. We have so many, so much flexibility. They have like 100 learning opportunities. Just get onto the learning portal. We speak to them so respectfully, not the way people spoke to us. Why are they still leaving? So there is this fundamental shift in cultural attitudes that's happened. And it's not a very easy one for organizations. I think everybody is trying to find their way around it. What I do like, and actually recently we'd completed a study with NASSCOM on understanding some of these big shifts in, people practices. What I do like is that organizations are trying out a lot of things. So right from, a much, much sharper focus on things like wellness, and several dimensions of wellness, emotional, physical, social, financial, these were just not even ideas, in the past, to, just teaching managers the importance of empathy, generosity, more inclusion, authentic leadership. I mean, different organizations have picked different themes, but just this whole shift in the way leadership happens from, at least for the last decade, we know authoritarian leadership has been out. It's not been in fashion at all, but to a far more, what should I say, uh, transparent. This is who I am. This is me as a human being. I'm not God's gift to earth. I have good, I have bad. This is me. Now work with me. That's a very, very difficult shift. And I see organizations attempting it. We'll see what works and what doesn't through, I guess, time will tell. But that's where we are.